Hi everybody, it's Tanya from the Quilters Market, and we are back with our virtual mystery quilt number 3. So today I'm going to go over clue number 1 and clue number 2. Clue number 1, we are going to give you the dimensions of the quilt, and we're also going to give you the dimensions of the fabrics. There are 4 fabrics in our quilt for mystery number 3, and we'll go over those 4 fabrics now. So, fabric number 1, which is going to be your dark fabric. In our color option number 1 is this dark blue. For our medium fabric, it's this really beautiful wavy blue. That is going to be your medium fabric. For our accent fabric, in color option number 1, we use this bright, beautiful yellow. For color number 4, we use this beautiful white, which is actually your light or background fabric. So, for the blue fabric, which is your dark fabric, you are going to need 7/8 of a yard of the dark. Of the medium fabric, you are going to need 1 yard and 5/8 of a medium. Of the pop of color, you're going to need 3/4 of a yard. And finally, of the light or background fabric, you're going to need 1 5/8. So, for this mystery quilt, we are offering 4 different color options here in the shop. You have option number 1, which is like I showed you. It has the medium blue, the dark blue, it has the white as an accent, and then the yellow as the pop of color. That is option number 1. Option number 2 has this really beautiful yellow-orange wave as your medium fabric. This nice cafe is going to be your dark fabric. The white is your background fabric or your light fabric, and the blue is your pop of color. For color option number 3, you have this beautiful pink for your medium fabric, this bolder pink for your dark fabric. We have this light gray as our light or background fabric, and then we have this beautiful turquoise multicolored as our pop of color. Finally, for color option number 4, we have this multi-green for our medium fabric. We have this green and orange cafe for our dark fabric. We have this cream colored for our light or background fabric. And finally, we have this beautiful orange as our pop of color. So those are the 4 colorways when choosing a pre-kitted kit here at the Quilters Market. So for clue number 2, these are our cutting instructions, and what I need you to do is grab your favorite ruler, rotary cutter with a fresh blade, and get ready for some cutting. So with our cutting, we're going to start with our dark fabric first. If you picked option number 1, our dark fabric is this dark blue fabric. For the dark fabric, we're going to cut 3 strips at 3.5 inches. We're going to cut these into 48 rectangles that are 2 inches by 3.5 inches. Then we're going to cut 2 strips that are 2 inches. We're going to cut these into 22 squares. So those will be 2 inches by 2 inches for a total of 22. Then we need 4 strips that are 1.5 inches. These strips you're going to leave whole. Then we're on to the medium fabric. Our medium fabric, we're going to cut 6 strips at 3 inches. We're going to leave these strips whole. Set them aside. We're then going to cut 16 strips that are 2 inches, cut 1 strip into 12 squares, leaving 15 strips whole. For our accent fabric, our yellow accent for kit number 1, we're going to cut 5 strips that are 3.5 inches. We're going to cut these strips into 92 rectangles that are 2 inches by 3.5 inches. From our light fabric, or our background fabric, we're going to cut 20 strips that are 2 inches by the width of fabric. You're going to subcut 4 of the strips into 44 rectangles that are 2 inches by 3.5 inches. We're then going to cut 5 of the strips into 96 squares that are 96 2-inch squares, so 2 inches by 2 inches. Then we'll leave the remaining 11 strips whole. Then we need to cut 4 strips that are 1 3/4 inch, again from the light or background fabric. We're going to leave these strips whole. Those are your cutting instructions. We'll see you next time.